Trust is a hard thing to come by these days. You build me up to let me down. Hey, yo, G. Got me spinning around.
Welcome. We back with another episode, season 2, episode 2. We got another dope entrepreneur here with us. But for starters, my name is Lance.
It's your boy Eric.
You already know who you here with your boy Nifty, aka Rob, aka Tito, aka if you know, you already know, aka Alua Shagun. I'm here with dope entrepreneur, like we said, Q, aka Quay, aka Q the photographer. You know what I'm saying? Give it up for my boy. Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's good, Q? How you doing today?
Everything is well, brothers. How y'all?
Solid.
All right.
Just let's get into a little bit about what you do and like what is your business and things like that. Let's start with that.
Well, me, me being a photographer, that's one of the things that I do. Mm-hmm. And also I deal with like custom clothing, custom print. So that's one of the other things I do. And I'm also getting into a few more businesses as far as in writing my own books and also getting into the wine business. But, as far as in those 4 things so far that I have going on, being a photographer is dope. It's amazing. You know what I mean? I must admit.
So when you say it's dope, what drew you to like photography?
To be honest, I learned photography, I would say, in the 8th grade. I actually took a class. And learning that, the original way where you take these photos digital and you develop them in the darkroom, it was a different feel. It was a different feel to it. It was more artful, it was more tasteful. It was more of that like vision that you see in movies, So I just think that when I took these pictures particularly, they all had a message. It was deep because it wasn't just like how you see it now, where it's basically like digital, where you could just like develop it on your phone. Before you had to really use certain chemicals to develop your photos. You had to actually hang them up to get the photo developed. So
It's me jumping ahead.
I'm about to say, take your time.
Good. You good.
I love the passion. just hold on. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I wasn't
we
gonna
got
get
a
too
lot
deep.
of questions.
I wasn't gonna get too deep.
Good.
But nah, that's basically what made me fall in love with photography.
Nah, that's what's up.
That's cool, yo.
That's something.
So,
Go ahead, bro.
Okay.
I was just gonna say we was definitely curious about it because we was talking about it on the phone a lot. Just because we only see that in movies. I've never seen it in person. Developing photos in the dark, so we was on the phone like for a minute, like just trying to figure out how official it is. Like I've never seen it in person, so
It's like being in a lab. It's like because it's like a specific room, but it's a dark room where it's not like you have particular lights that could act like. So it's like how you say, like it's a specific room where you basically have certain lights where you could these lights are definitely good for the pictures too, because of the fact that it could show you like what type of liquid you're using, and you could just see things that you need to be around, because certain lights determine like how the picture will come out, So I would say like in a dark room, it's not like you just being in the dark. Yeah. It's just more, they just call that the dark room because that's the room that it's like where the photography go down, where you just basically editing your photos. That's how you edit your photos back then.
So in the movies, it's always like this red light. Is it always the red light, or can you use like a a blue light? Can you use a green light if you wanted to?
I would say you could possibly use any light, but usually, as I know of, is people either use the red light or just like a more of a dull light. Like it's good enough to see inside the room.
Okay.
But usually the red light. I've never really seen nobody use a blue light. I guess that's the part where it becomes artistic of how you feel.
Okay. So I'm glad you talked about art just now. So in today's day, right, we're in a world where we're a little more free.
Right.
Right. So I wanted to ask you what does art mean to you?
I think art, to me, art is very meaningful. I think art describes a lot. You know, I think art, you know, it's like looking at a picture or just looking at anything. It has a lot of description to it. You know, it could be the smallest thing, it could be the biggest thing. I think art sometimes you gotta be real detailed to look at. So I think art is just amazing. I think art has like a deeper meaning to most things, and I think that's a different form of expression. So most people do art because they definitely trying to get a message out, and there's so much unique things in it that's what makes it art. It's creative.
Okay. So through your art, what is the message that you're trying to convey to the world or to your audience?
As far as from my photography, well, the thing is with me, I feel like through my photography work, I try to show expression. I try to show more visual. I try to show that basically a picture could speak volume. You know, I try to, like, I'm not, like, there's a lot of things that I'm more into, like, lifestyle and urban. So that's the things I mainly focus to, more than like nudity type of photography. But
Because we was gonna ask you about it, but
nah, yeah, my
we'll
fault.
let it slide.
But
Only he was gonna ask you. He nasty.
nah, we get to that point though. But like through my photography, I just think that I want to show people that you could just be you. You could have a sense of humor. You could smile more. You could be expressive here. You know, and you don't gotta be afraid to show who you want to be. You know, because like I said, pictures last. You know, pictures last and it's meaningful. So like a black and white photo is different than a photo with color. You know, so that's my purpose of what I do and how I shoot my art photography.
Cool. So I was gonna ask you why not shoot nudity, but we'll skip that because that's just.
Now we can get to it. We can get to
Okay,
it.
all right. So why not shoot like nudity and stuff like that? And that's only because there are people that are into that type of stuff. Like I do know somebody that they actually like search through those type of images, but the way it's like the colors and they look at it from a different perspective or something. My mind is like, you know, why would you shoot something and not automatically think about sex or whatever, what the case is? But they actually like believe in it, like it's a deeper meaning to it. So I was just curious, why not shoot or dive into that lane of?
Well, to start off with my opinion about nudity, I do feel like it's a form of art. I think it's dope. I think it's definitely admiring. But I don't shoot nudity particularly because I think nowadays the form of nudity is not the same. Like I think back then in photography, it was more artful, it was more tasteful, it was more like you could tell that magazine form. I think nowadays it just became, I would say, not to say like this, but it turned into like pornography. You know, and I think at the end of the day, like you remember it was a time where, you know, like lingeries were sexy. Now you're seeing them with Jordans on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, and I think that a lot of these nudity shoots don't have no message. You know, I just think that it's a woman being naked, and that's my reason to not really shooting because if I am, like, I won't like deny it, you know, or decline it, but it has to be very tasteful. You know, it has to be very, very tasteful because to me, it's senseless to do if you just want to do it because in your head, you know, it's considered self-love or it's considered, I want to do something different. But do you have a real meaning of why you're showing your body in the first place? So that's my reason I'm not showing nudity.
It's different.
Great answer.
Yo, it make me think, right? So we talking about photography, we talking about pictures, we talking about snapshots of moments in time, right? So we talk about that, it just takes me back, right, to when like thinking about a picture is literally taking you back to that place in time, right? So now I also did it when with the question, because the question it took, like you said, why don't he do nudity and things like that? I was just thinking about movies. Random fact, you know what I'm saying? Titanic, you ever seen it? You seen it?
Yes.
All right, so Titanic, you seen my boy Leonardo was good with the pen. He was drawing up shorty.
Painting, right.
Then, yes, painting. And then, but wasn't it oil pastels, right? Back then?
I believe so. I forgot. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I think,
but I know he did it in an artful
Yeah,
way.
it was different.
Definitely
It was
dope.
Yeah, it was like, so I get what you're saying when he says tasteful, you know what I'm saying? It's not like he just like, he's actually, you know what I'm saying, making sure everything is aligned.
Nah, he's detailed.
Yeah.
He's detailed with it. And I also think, like, see, that's a form of art, though. That's some shit that could come into different form because it's kind of sexy. It's admiring. Like, you painting a woman, it's like you're being artistic.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And, like, at the end of the day, it kind of makes a woman think different of herself because, like, now you, like personally me, like, not to get, you know, off topic, but it all brings back to one is that, like, you gotta admire the things that women don't. So like stretch marks and all that other stuff. That all got a message to it.
Facts.
You know, the curves,
Facts.
you know, the thickness, the skin, like all that got a message. So when you do the painting and that's a form of that's hard to do, but it's creative. So
I'm into like the big foreheads. I think that's my thing with them.
Nigga, it's crazy.
say it again?
Girls with the big foreheads. That really be my thing. Like,
Nah, I love
I like, cause you know, I know they laughing. They think I'm joking, but the little baby hairs, like the extent they go to try to cover their forehead, I find it sexy.
That's an art.
Nah,
That's an art the way they be
my
laying
thing.
that.
It depends. Like
I be tight. Like
I
bought somebody a whole brush set one time. I was like, yo, let me.
You might be talking about like the Janet Jackson sound for the
like,
damn. I get
That's
it.
that, like.
Another movie, In Too Deep. We good?
Yeah.
You still with me?
Yeah.
Come on, you ain't no cop, J. Reed. My boy was taking a picture. You remember that? He was taking a picture for photography.
Near
class.
long.
Yeah.
Nah, but see, that's artful too.
But I'm saying, like, everything, it went with what you was saying. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like the ambiance. He could have been all like, yo, you know what? Let me take you out. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like that. He was on a different type of time, and he was like, nah, I actually want to.
Yeah, actually though, that was a prime example of if you really pay attention with him and Neil Long, because they both was doing photography. He actually had like they had moments where it showed like him developing photos. You know what I mean? You could see him hanging the photos up to actually get the images. So that's how it was before, back then. That's how they used to do it. So that's how I actually learned it.
Yeah.
So we actually glad to have you here because we know a couple photographers, but we don't get to talk to them a lot. And we had the pleasure of our wonderful cameraman who likes to keep all his secrets to himself. So we would like to know, like, what's your end goal? What's the steps, like the end goal for a photographer, like where you feel like you've reached the final step?
Elaborate that a little bit more. Like where does
like
it
so we don't know the steps of even becoming a photographer, what you need to start off with, or to become like move from just an amateur photographer to professional, or what's the end goal to that? Like,
all right, hold on. So start with this, right? When was it that you knew? Like, when was it first that you knew that you had like major impact on the game or like the art world? You know what I'm saying? To help you get to that. You know, that makes sense, right?
Well, like I said, me learning it in the 8th grade and then actually getting a camera and just seeing like people's like reaction towards just taking a picture of them, and they're like, "Oh shit, that's fire!" Like, and you can see the difference in people, because like I say, it's always like I say, the lens in the camera is like a third eye. You know what I mean? Like everything, like you take a picture of somebody, they might look smaller in the picture, or you might see a pimple on their face that you can't see directly from outside the lens. So I say like that's where it kind of started, of just shooting my friends in my neighborhood and just seeing how their reaction was. And that's when I learned that like everybody like, yo, that's fire, that's dope. Yo, Quay, you should get more in tune with this. So I'm like, listen, you know, I might will. But once I started learning the art of it and seeing the reaction to it, learning the differences, but like like about the background of things, that's when I really fell in love with it. Like the colors of it, the tone of it, the contrast of it, everything plays a part. So that's where I kind of went deeper with it.
All right, so what's to end it off? You said the end goal.
Yeah, what is your end goal to photography? Like, where do you feel
I feel like you have to have a vision first. I think a lot of people got to start with a vision, you know, but also having a vision, you got to know why you want to do photography. I think people just nowadays, you know, want to do photography because it's easy money, not because of the art, not because of the message, not because of the ideal. So I think people think it's easy money, and I think before you become a photographer, you got to fall in love with this. You know what I mean? Because you could take pictures all day, but if you don't understand how the lens work, if you don't understand how the body work, if you don't understand what you capturing, it's basically worthless. You know, so any photographers that are up and coming, you know, I say have a vision with it, understand the photography, understand why you're doing it, understand the multiple styles of photography, and then know what you heading to. Because I think a lot of photographers, they start where the money at nowadays. Like, if I could do, you know, a party, but you know, party's not for you, you know, then basically don't just start there. Learn your craft and master it. You know, start somewhere where it's open space. So that's why I would say before you become, you want to develop into photography, you know, understand your vision board, and then take your time to learn the camera and the art of it.
My curiosity was, and I'm glad you actually brought that point up where people start with a blank space and stuff, because I never actually thought about it as easy money. I'm glad that you pointed that out. So I was just curious, like, how easy is it in a sense that, you know, for you to even jump to shooting parties, somebody has to see what you're doing and even like it to even ask you to record. But I'm pretty sure I have so many friends with cameras, but I'm not gonna be like, come shoot my wedding. Like, I ain't gonna just go to him like out of the blue. So how does somebody even go about getting their work out there, like, to get gigs and, you know, in order to bring in money and stuff like that?
Well, like I said, that's why it takes, you know, you gotta practice to become perfect. And even though sometimes when you feel like you're perfect, you ain't perfect. So I just feel like a lot of people just gotta master their craft to understanding their tone. Cause there's a tone to photography, there's a tone to pictures. You know, that's why it's dull moments, bright moments. You know, everything is different. You know, the sun is there. You got sometimes where it's fall season, the leaves, everything has a moment, you know, and it has a different feel to it. So like you said, for people to get to that point, well, nowadays it's different because social media is the outlet, you know, so now you got to just start learning your craft and then get to the point where you feel like you're comfortable to post it. And that's how people start seeing your work, you know, but you got to, like I said, you got to kind of get feedback. You definitely need feedback. So sometimes you could get it from your friends, sometimes you need it from strangers, you know, and that's how you learn. That's how you learn. But like to step into like a partying world, yeah, you might got to do some amateur shots first, practice with your friends and see where you're going wrong or where you're going right. Because in a party it's different, you know, and you don't want them photos to come out not good and somebody paid you. So, yeah.
That's too true. That's super true.
So I got a question. And it kind of ties into that. So can you remember like your first like photo shoot or your first gig, and what was the feeling behind it, and then like what did you feel like you were successful after the fact, or was it like, dang, I might have messed this one up?
Good question. Damn, I really don't remember like my first shoot, but like I said, as I started out was just shooting friends, and like I said, I was learning it still, just the camera alone, because I've been doing photography for 13 plus years. But my first photo shoot, I can't exactly remember, but I could tell you the feeling of just certain photo shoots or how it was just doing a photo shoot with singular people compared to like groups of people. So I would say like shooting singular people, I always have a good time depending on the person. It depends on the chemistry. You know what I mean? You gotta have a bond in chemistry with photography, because there's a lot of people that like I haven't really aimed for models. I aimed for like amateurs. I aimed for people that was just being them, and you had a certain look to you. So let me shoot with you, let me practice on you. And when it came to like the gigs, you know, I would say everything at that point was good. It really determines on the bond and chemistry with the person.
Okay.
You know, so that's how I would say it. You know, like I wasn't nervous about it. It just depends on the chemistry from there.
Okay.
Well, I think that was definitely a good point to go ahead and take a little break. So we'll be right back to you.
going on, my people? With your guy Q, also known as Q the Photographer, and you are now tuned in Lincoln, Brooklyn.
Welcome back. It's Lincoln, Brooklyn, and you already know who you here with, but we here with Quay, aka Q the Photographer. Appreciate you for joining us, brother.
No problem.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, E, yeah.
So you left us off with who you particularly target for your photos, and again, I'm happy to have you here because I'm so curious about this. I kind of hate all my pictures, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to know, like, even with targeting images, how, and this is just a question, how difficult it is to work with somebody so new to taking pictures and stuff like that. Because like I said, I hate my pictures where I'm not photogenic, so
Right.
I do want to get better at that, but I want to know how it is for you working with somebody that's not a model.
Like I said, it determines on the bond and chemistry and the comfortability. Because a lot of times out of 10, especially like when I shoot females,
Yeah.
they like, you know, females are usually photogenic. The thing is, they gotta be comfortable with you, and that's what I usually hear. Like, I'm not comfortable, you know, or they gotta get into the field, you know. And I be like, you photogenic all the time, but why you not photogenic with somebody taking a picture of you with a professional camera? And it's like, because they be like, oh well, this is more professional. Like, I don't know how to pose, so you see certain things. So how do I usually like work with them type of people? I mean, I kind of direct them with the posing. You know, I let them get the feel, I let them loosen up. You know, we'll do a few retakes, let them like, sometimes I let a woman just walk into the camera so she could get the feel of how she want to feel. So I think that's important because sometimes, like, I feel like, you know, it's like a leap. You know, like, before we, like, if you want to relate it to ball, like, before we try to dunk, we got to get that leap to dunk. So it's like with modeling and shooting the amateurs, like, they got to get that walk to get that feel. You know, because you got to understand your body language. That's important. Most people don't know their body language. They just doing things, but they ain't understanding it. So and also with dudes, like, you know, dudes depending got, you know, they got this image, you know, so it boils down to, like, sometimes the masculinity. So sometimes they don't know how to pose at all. They just know how to do certain poses, deuces, but to get, you know, to get men to actually, you know, pose a certain way, you just got to give them more chill modes. You got to pick sceneries that's gonna match to them. So I think that's what it usually is. Sometimes I think males work better depending with objects, you know. So like if they got a stool, they could work better with that, or crate, you know. Some type, and also music is good too. You know, music is definitely good. So I think a lot of props usually work too.
Thanks for that. I needed that information.
Yeah, question did pop into my head. It was just, you know, do you let people just do their own thing and you catch off guard sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes those be actually the best ones.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't like to force a smile. So it's like, I hate this, be like, yo, smile, and then you can't really smile. So sometimes you got to just let them be, and that's why I usually set the shutter speed or something to a certain way, so where now it's just flicking. So you don't have to be perfect, because the photography is not about perfection. It's about art.
Right.
So I just let them be who they want to be. And then if you catching them photos that just catching them smiling, you're going to catch the ones that's not always good. The eyes might be closed, but you're going to get a few that might be like, oh, this might be different.
That's right, yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's how I usually do it. You be yourself. How about you just be yourself? And I let them do what they want to do. You know, as long as you in the center or you just moving around, getting the feel, fine, that works.
So you be going through it with like a fine tooth comb, like out of hundreds of thousands of pictures you be taking of a shoot. You just be like, that's the one?
Sometimes, but then at the same time, I usually like, so I take time, you know, like I take the picture, then I kind of go through it at the moment, because I hate to have photos just sitting there and having to go through all of this at the same time. So I delete as I go if it's not good. And if I see something that won't be clear. So sometimes photos might could come out or look clear, but it might be a blur to it. So what I say, look, you see how your legs are in this photo? See how your face is in this photo? See how your body standard is in this photo? Let's redo it. So now they can master that. You know? So that's how I usually do that.
All right, so, yeah.
I was just going to ask if you could tell us about, like, your worst photo shoot you did. Oh, if you remember. I don't want to.
Ooh. I can't, like I said, I can't remember that either, but I could say I came across a few. And I think, I think the problem was like it came to the posing.
Yeah.
It came to the posing. Like the posing was like probably the worst part. And I would say with both genders, because you got some dudes that really don't know how to pose at all. Some they just know how to do certain things. So you be like, yo, bro, you gotta at least change the pose up, and they just looking mad stiff. You know what I mean? So it's like those be the worst at times because it's like, this is kind of boring, and I don't know the message behind this. You know what I mean? Like, so I can't really do nothing with this, but I'm still gonna get the job done. You know, and sometimes I try to manage them to at least get a few photos or a decent amount of photos to where it could look like something. You know, and when it come to women, you got this thing where it's like, catch me on my, like, hit my good side. So it's like, you know, at times where it's like, and then you got a lot of them that got to do like a lot of makeup and redo their makeup and their lipstick. So, I mean, it's nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, it become a hassle. You know what I mean? And then it comes to like the insecurity of them. So they be like, I don't know how I look. Oh, I don't like the way this look. I don't like my face. So I came across a few of those. Yeah, like I showed them just to get a sample of it. Like, look. They be like, I don't like the way I look. I might like it, but then they might not like it. So
you never get just frustrated, just I'm done, just pick up your stuff and leave. Like,
nah, I haven't really got to that point. There's times
you got paid, so you know.
Nah, there's times I got there's times I got frustrated, but you know, I know how to hold my composure. You know what I mean? Because I learned to be understandable. You know what I mean? To where everybody, like I said, it's not a model, it's an amateur. So it's more of a thing where I know you probably not really ready for this, and I get it, you know, so we're gonna make the best out of it. But I also say don't irk me either to where you just doing the most and you just feel like you become lazy. That's what I don't like. Like, I don't like people that give up on themselves. Like, work on it, fix your pose, you know. So yeah, I mean, I get frustrated at times, but I learned to hold my composure.
Got to see it through. But right, so let's talk about seeing it through. Right, you touched on a message that art has. Right, what's the message that you trying to bring or portray in your art, in your photos?
Like I said, within my photos, like I'm trying to bring, like, the art that I'm really trying to feel is like I'm trying to get for people to understand is more be yourself. Be expressive. Don't feel like you being ashamed or embarrassed or insecure about how you look. Be yourself, you know. And also, like, I like magazine form type of photos. So I like things to look like it's very expressive and it's chilled. You know, like, I don't like doing too much, but I like a message to it. So I say, prime example, if somebody is, you know, in like Soho, like, it's certain things that stand out in Soho. The building structure, the streets, it's the sidewalk. So to me, I just like to express the things around it too. That's why I say I got multiple things I shoot: lifestyle, urban, portrait. Because portrait is more like face you shot, so it's more of an expressive thing. Lifestyle and urban is more about the clothes you wear and the things around you. So that's the art that I'm really trying to show, is like, become more expressive, be you, you know, and stand out, be rare. Don't be the same.
All right. So with that, right, it brings me to another question, which is, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Dave Chappelle and Kanye West, a.k.a. Ye.
Yes.
That's his new name.
Ye, one or two.
You know what I'm saying? Are you familiar with, like, both of those situations right now going on in, like, just the world?
Yes, as far as in the Dave Chappelle situation.
There's Dave Chappelle with his Netflix series, and then Kanye with just how he's walking around and things like
just wearing masks.
The outfit, you know what I'm saying? All right, so with that being
said, like, he dragging that, like, we trying to take the
listen,
mask off.
I don't even know.
Accessorize it, like.
So with those being said, right, with you saying just express yourself, be you, they're unapologetically them. Right? What are your views on that? If you have any, like, you could split it up or whatever the case may be.
Well, when it comes to Dave Chappelle, his Netflix special, I feel like Dave Chappelle's, I consider him rare. I consider him different. I consider him being himself because of the fact that rare types of people understand that they're not perfect. They understand that they different. They understand that, listen, everything won't come off how you want to hear it, but it's truth to it. And it's like at the end of the day, I feel like Dave Chappelle is a person that's standing on what he stand on. And I think at the end of the day, him being himself is showing, and which is fine, because it's not blocking your blessings, you know what I mean? And you're gonna have people that don't like you for being yourself. You know, they're not gonna like that, because they're gonna look at it as in like, oh well, you being yourself is considered rude or disrespectful. Well, listen, at the end of the day, if being myself is that towards you, what blessings am I blocking? You just not the person that belongs here. You know, because I don't believe he said anything disrespectful. He spoke his mind.
He got paid already, so I don't think he got to worry about.
And at the end of the day, sometimes I say it like this: being yourself though makes people love you more.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Like that's why they didn't.
It's a
decline.
double-edged sword for me. Like it's like you get that, and then you also get the backlash, because it's like, why would you do that? Why would you say that? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to deal with both.
Backlash
you gotta
always
take the
comes.
good with the bad.
but it's like, even like we were saying, like when you being real and just authentic in yourself, somebody gotta, as we was trying to speak on like Kyrie earlier,
That's
you
another
gotta,
example.
somebody gotta put the message out there.
Right.
Everybody can't just back down or conform to what the world wants you to be. So seeing that is you know.
But to pull it back to Dave
Hold
Chappelle,
on. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Dave Chappelle never said anything wrong. If you look at the special, he commended, you know, trans people.
Right.
It wasn't like he was really talking down on them. But he had a friend, and friends joke around. His friend was able to take the jokes, which is why he felt it was okay to speak on it. His friend got judged for a certain thing, and it was a message that he was trying to convey, that, you know, I could speak on this and get backlash, but somebody could do this and not receive no backlash at all.
Right.
But because I'm speaking about this, you guys are sensitive about it.
Even to add on to that, because I had watched it a couple times. The friend backlash, like he already knew he was getting backlash. That's why like Dave Chappelle is rare. Like he already knew what was coming. But for the friend to stick up for them, and that's how he believed that's how the friend went, because Dave was attacking a friend, is still crazy to me. Like,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, just how because he gave the whole story of how their relationship even got together. The friend being bad at comedy.
I thought that's
It's just even
I
that,
thought
but
that's what was like
the backlash.
whole, like the back part of the story. Like the joke was the jokes. Like the jokes are the jokes. But the back story was he actually gained a friend from the community. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I took away from it. I know it's a lot going on in there, but go ahead.
Now I was gonna say that at times, right, like you said, being yourself though, right? I think the thing with being yourself, especially in situations like that, you know, it's not sometimes the person is too powerful and they know they can't destroy him. So he's powerful because he know he's gonna change. He makes sense. The way of how people think, he's changing the narrative of, listen, I'm not judging this community, but at the same time, how is it that we could promote this of black on black crime, but we can't mention something like this that's becoming something that's coming on to kids,
Right.
you know, and y'all forcing it, but we're not judging y'all. Just, you know, let it be what it is. And I know y'all said something about with Kanye. When it comes to Kanye, I feel like Kanye being himself also, but I feel like Kanye is rare. Kanye proves his point at the end of the day, because he knows that the way society is nowadays, y'all pay attention to ignorance. But when it comes to a real message, I sound crazy.
Yeah.
So I think he's being himself, and I think he knows he's the talk of the town. I could look crazy, my hair could look crazy, my mask look crazy, but listen, you know who like it? People that you're not really getting next to.
But can you consider what Kanye's doing a form of art though?
Yes. I feel like it's a form of art because at the end of the day, it's around, you got to understand the time of the year too. Halloween. Wear a mask. Also, though, you never know. That mask might got a message to it. We don't know where that mask come from. It might got a message. It could be something that, you know, people might look at and say, who is that? That might could be something called black face, white face, gray face. We don't know what that was. You know, you might got a message behind it. But overall, I feel like what he's doing is a form of art. Because he's walking down the street and before you know it, you'll probably start seeing people in certain neighborhoods wearing masks. Depending. So I think he's being himself, and I think, like I said, that's rare.
Yeah, nah, for sure. That's for sure. I mean, if my boy was here, he would have been ranting and raving about how Kanye is he's like an artist and stuff like that. But he got like some type of degree. I know he got a degree. I don't know if it was a bachelor's or master's or something in arts. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't really say nothing.
Nah, the man is very intelligent.
Yeah, I mean, ain't gonna lie. He has very
he's a genius, man.
ways.
Right. He's a genius.
I ain't gonna say he's a genius, but he has.
No, he's a genius, bro. Kanye's a genius, and I don't want. We can talk about that all day. Kanye's a genius, bro. I'm not gonna argue with you about that.
I'm not
but,
arguing.
I want to pull it back to something you was mentioning before about Seoul having different like buildings where you could take pictures and just capture art. Where do you see New York in terms of art? Like, where would you rank us in the United States? Rather, I'm not gonna make it global, but United States.
That's a good question. I think New York is actually like as far as in what, like just the art world in general. Like,
well, anything you want to call art, like whether it's photography, you see somebody drawing, just in general.
I think to be honest, I think we're getting actually back in style. Like I think we starting to form the art again. You know, but I would say like, so if it was between 1 through 10, I'd give it like a 3.
3?
I'll give it like a 3 because I feel like number 1 right now, it depends. I would say is like, I give it to like between like Miami, like Florida, depending where you at, but also I give it to like Atlanta. You know what I mean? Because Atlanta got a lot of artists out there too. But then it goes deeper. You just got to know what places. So I would say between Atlanta, Florida, and also like L.A., but I'll give it to Atlanta and Florida at this moment. So I say like New York at this moment, we in a good position, but we get back to it. We starting to get more galleries. People starting to get more in tune.
I see you tag like New York and Cali, so that's why I was like curious, like who do you think like their art or all types of art forms is, who's more influential?
I would say New York.
Yeah.
To be honest, cause I feel like Cali got his bougie ways. Like they not really artful. It's just the things that's around it that looks artful. Like we go by the architecture there, but we got great architecture here too.
Yeah.
We got buildings here that's forever. You know what I mean? Museums, that's forever. Nature, that's forever. So I say New York.
All right, so that's a natural cutoff point. We got to come back to you after this break. We got a game to play with Q, and I want to get his opinion on a couple of photos. All right.
What's going on, my people? You with your guy, Q, the photographer, one of the best photographers in New York City based. If you want to link in, tap in with me, get your shoots done. Contact me at Q the Photographer on Instagram. That's where you can find me at, or my Instagram page for photography. It's Q the Photography with the Y at the end. Stay locked in, stay tuned.
Linked in Brooklyn, and we back with Q the Photographer. We're going to go right back to Rob so he could get back to these questions.
Yeah. All right. So the question that I want to ask, and I think we're going to cut it off here. Do you see your art impacting the borough of Brooklyn, or is that even a thing that you want to get into or anything like that?
Well, I won't say that it's just impacting Brooklyn. I would say the art is, impacting the world, because I feel like, to basically impact a borough, I think, that's just not what the art is about. It's about impacting the world. So I think you might have people in a particular borough that won't like the photography, but at the same time, you got other people around the world that do, because like I said, I shoot more like amateur. I shoot more also like natural. I don't do Photoshop. So nowadays, I think a lot of people use Photoshop for photography, and it's not that it's a bad thing, but also I think it takes away from the natural craft and the real art of photography. But it's also dope that you could be creative. So to really answer your question, my photography impact the world more than just one borough.
Feel that. So last thing, my bad. You said like using Photoshop is like you don't do it, right? So what, like, are you still doing the old way and like developing photos and stuff like that?
I would say no. So I
Okay.
am doing it more of like the digital way where you edit from your like I particularly it's crazy because I edit from my phone particularly. I don't even use a computer. But yes, I do it more on phone. But I think like it's not that it's anything wrong with it. Like I would go back to the old way if I could.
Yeah.
But also I like the new way. I just don't like the Photoshop of it as much.
Okay. Man, you said you like
So what kind of camera you use?
I use a Mark II 6D.
Oh, that shit went right over my head, bro.
I was say, can you explain that? What is that? Like what
That's
is
a
it
Canon.
you- Okay.
Mark II
Okay.
6D Canon
Okay.
camera.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I have one quick question. Because you said you got into photography, and I'm sorry to bring it all the way back to the beginning,
No,
but
sure.
you got into it during the 8th grade, you
Right.
said, when you took the class. And just to be honest with you, I didn't really have that in no school I went to. Do you think that photography, even like as a career, is being pushed enough in the school curriculum, or
No.
anything that you
I
think you
think-
would do to change it?
Yeah,
if you
I
could,
think like when it gets to that point, I would definitely, have a thing where I would teach, because I sometimes do teach photography, but I would open a center or something, or a studio section where people could learn, because I think that's important. I think you got to think about long term in most things. You know what I mean? Like photography will always be around, even if it's not in a field that you think is for like modeling. People need them for investigation. People need them for, pictures that you see behind scenes. They need it for covers. They need it. It's something that's needed. It's long term. You can never go wrong with photography. So I think that's something that I will eventually have.
dive into?
'Cause I think it's important to have photography.
That's definitely real.
All right, so
dope.
I got 3 photos I want to get your opinion on. These are photos that I've seen before,
Okay.
and they're very well. One of them is a very famous photo,
Okay.
or a piece of art. So I want to know what comes to mind when you see these art pieces. Pass me these. You can just swipe.
Never
Several.
seen this before.
You never seen that before?
Never seen it.
Wow.
Would you seen that in the subway?
Well, I've never seen this photo before, but
That's I think that's Van Gogh. Scream.
Oh,
well, yeah. Oh, you're talking about as far as in the image, yes, but I mean like the character, but everything around it. I see a pond. I see multiple things in it. But what do I think about this image? I believe that this could be art. I think this is artful because it has multiple meanings to it. And like I said, just you could see different things in it. You could consider it as a sunrise on top. You see the pond. You see ducks. You see people behind. You see a bridge, but it also showed like the expression on the person's face is also like very different. So I say this photo is awful. It has a meaning to it. Definitely does.
you seen all that?
And for the viewers, we're gonna put it up on the screen so you guys can.
Nah, I see it, but I see where you see the ducks. When I first seen it, I ain't gonna lie to you, I seen these two, and I was like, this person is like that because those 2 people is following him. That's what I said.
Right, like it definitely has an expression, but also like you could define this in multiple ways because them 2 people don't look like they actually follow him. They look like they're actually taking a walk.
Exactly, that's the
But
crazy thing.
This person looked like as if like they see something they wasn't supposed to see. It's a
That's
very
true.
surprising
Okay,
face, like
that's very interesting.
So it looked like, but also it looked like due to the hands on the head, you never know if they had headphones on.
Right.
But it looks more shocking because I'm going off of the
that's what I'm
I'm
looking
going
at.
off of the eyes,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
eyes point out something like like if they see something they don't supposed to see. So that's what I get from this image.
All right, so you can swipe to the next one.
Okay, I feel like this image is very deep and strong because I think it shows you the difference between a woman and a man. And it shows you like what women do and what men do. And I think the fact that what really stands out within this is the statues of like the way the statue was formed, and you could tell like it looks more of a thing like it shows that women are more nurturing, but men are more masculine, you know, because at the same time it's like you could tell like it's showing like the man got the muscles, the woman got the home. Like she take care of the home, you know, while you take care of everything outside of it. But that's what I get from this image, basically.
I know that was my favorite one. When you showed that, I was actually interested in that because I got like the woman-man aspect, but also I got the community aspect.
Right.
I'm thinking that whenever you say it takes a village, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's true. You get what I'm saying? And the buildings just I guess shows that in through the art because it's buildings and one building is taller than the other,
right.
and then it's also holding a baby building. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So now with all that, there's a lot of community because you don't live in a building by yourself. You get what I'm saying? That's what I got from it. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, y'all getting deep.
Nah, I think,
Got
like
to,
I said,
bro.
Yeah, it shows a lot, like I said, between gender roles. It definitely
it
does. You know, like it definitely do, and that's what I get from it. So
You the one that said you don't see nothing at all.
Even in like the woman's touch, kind of, you can see the hands.
Yeah.
And you see how like nurturing. it
that's
is.
why I say it's very nurturing.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And it shows that, you know, like I said, with the man being masculine, because I see like there's like some type of weight on his shoulders, which I feel like sometimes men could feel like, you know, being a man is considered carrying the world on your back.
Yeah, like David.
Yeah,
what was
facts.
that? David? No, it wasn't David. Whoever that dude was that was carrying the thing on his back. The world. Who was that? It was Atlas. Atlas carrying it on his back, on his knee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But
Yeah.
like that's exactly what it showed. You know, so that's what I get from this.
Swipe to the next one.
One last one.
This one right here. This is definitely, I'm gonna call this expensive pain. Nah. But now, this definitely got multiple emotions. This is definitely, I like this. I think this one stands out.
Fire.
The most, right?
Yeah, because it's like blood, sweat, and tears. You feel me? And you could tell like when somebody is going through so much pain between like the blood, the fire in the arms, the hands over the face, and then like the hairdo, you know. So I look at this like this is definitely something where you could tell somebody's battling something, you know, and they trying to get through the trials and tribulations. So this is definitely like one of the ones that I think most people could relate to, and I would say probably it's not even about the gender, but since it's a woman, I would say most women go through, because I also get like, if I'm not mistaken, like these type of sharp pins in the hand, you know. So that's what I'm seeing from this photo, where it's like they tired of kind of helping, and you know it can become painful. She looked very lonely in this photo. So I like this. This is definitely expressing pain.
Yeah, those photos kind of spoke to me a little bit. You know, I wanted to get his opinion on it.
It's very, it's definitely expressed pain.
He hit that last one. I ain't got nothing to say about that one.
Yeah.
I don't see nothing else.
Yo, but listen, it was great having you here.
Yo, we appreciate you for tapping in. Again, just seeing the different outlook on how you analyze something as simple as a picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you for tapping in and tuning in with us.
100%.
You already know. We're here with Q, the photographer, a.k.a. Quay, a.k.a. Q. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said Q 3 times?
Yeah, you did. You said
Cool.
Q photographer,
Q, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know. You here with your boy Nifty, a.k.a. Rob, a.k.a. Tito, a.k.a. if you know, you already know, a.k.a. Alua Shagun. I'm here with my brothers.
It's your boy E.
It's your boy Lance. And it's
that's
a wrap. It's a wrap.
Appreciate it.
Love. You already.
Yeah.
My name is Lance.
It's Eric.
You already know who you with. You here with your boy Nifty, aka Tito, aka Rob, aka if you know, you already know. And we got a special guest today in the crib. I forgot my last name, aka Alua Shagun. You know what I'm saying? Q, aka Quay.
So I want to take it back. Y'all ain't do nothing wrong. You just came in too quick for me to get you.
Who?
You.
No, bro.
Yeah, it was just a little fast. like by the time you said, that's when it got to you. Like Eric, like at the end of your name.
Hey, I guess we got another blooper from Eric.
You good? No, that's on me. That's on me. I should have been faster. That was unnecessary. Though. I'm still rolling.
Courtesy of Eric. Another blooper.
Yeah, y'all did perfect.
I ain't gonna be the damn blooper person.
Yo, you about to be JaVale McGee, bro.
Right.
Word.
Damn. That's
Exactly.
wild.
All right, ready?
We called you JaVale.